Hello, everybody. It's an honor to be able to share using my own sound mind. I thank God who created us and made us with our own minds, such that I don't have to think for you and you do not have to think for me. We've all been endowed with our own minds, our hearts, our thinking thought processes that we're able to apply. And it's really a blessing. I will count that as a blessing. And if we cast our minds back to the last couple of years, especially when the world was struck by the coronavirus, a lot transpired and has transpired and are still going on. And there were lots of tough situations that demanded for individuals to think for themselves, to be rational, to be reflective, just go back and ponder over everything that's going on and decide for yourself what you were going to do. Sadly, there were some, excuse me, situations when people had no choice, especially with the lockdowns. Governments imposed these things and we had to comply. However, when it came to the COVID jab, thank God that we were allowed to think. If you decided for yourself, whatever you did with the COVID jab, well done. It's up to you. It was up to you, really. And people had to really think. I am really grateful to God that I can think for myself. I can come back and I may hear things, I may see things, notice events, situations. I could come back and just assess things, research, find out what's right, what's wrong, what's this information about, where is it coming from, how authentic it is this reliable? What can I do with this? Who can I check with, or where can I confirm and check? These will only be possible because I have my mind. I can think for myself, just like we. So I am just grateful for this ability to use my mind, because when a person loses the ability to think for themselves, then really and truly that person is dead already, just waiting to be buried physically. And I just wanted to celebrate this little thing, though we regard it is actually very colossal and integral to the day-to-day successful living of every human being. I'm not sure what's going on with my voice, but hey, so far as I can still speak, I will speak. Just bear with me, guys. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 7. I'm first going to read it from the King James Version. Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of truth. Remember how it talks about the last days, we're in the last days, and the people who have a form of godliness and they deny the power thereof, we should turn away from them. Talked about the women, silly women who have been led by their lust, their desires. And now he's talking about people who are continually learning. They learn all the time, but never come to the knowledge of the truth. They never have an understanding. How do you explain that? Someone who's learning, who's constantly in the school, in an academy, but they never have understanding. That is a sad place to be. When you think for yourself, you have your mind to rationalize, to reason, to consider, to reflect. You will be able to come to some sort of knowledge or understanding over the subject that you're thinking about. The easy to read translation says they are always learning. They're always trying to learn new things, but they can never really understand God's true message, understanding. This is one of the reasons why I am grateful for my own understanding, that I am able to sit down and think for myself. We live in a world today where everyone wants to be supported with everything. There are so many millions of lazy folks out there. I encounter a few constantly in my line of work, and it's so heartbreaking to see able-bodied men, women, children, people, individuals who just can't think for themselves. They can, but they've relegated that activity, that unique action to other people to do on their behalf. It's sad. I know that there are certain times and situations where ill health could affect someone's ability to understand what's going on and be able to make decisions and come to conclusions for themselves. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about those who can, but are just too lazy. This is one of the reasons why we have all these false pastors, prophets, apostles, and the rubbish titles. Why we have them, the proliferation, springing up every corner, scamming and defrauding people in the name of God. Because people do not want to think and reason for themselves. Just, oh, go ask the man of God, in quotes, because they're not men of God for me. They are gods of men. They're pulpit bandits. They're criminals in the name of God. These are people who have no relationship with God. This is why they're able to do the things that they do. But it's not their fault. I want to stop blaming these pulpit bandits. I blame those who are so lazy, who have no intention of finding God for themselves, to be able to use that individual mind God has endowed and has put in all of us to think for ourselves, to be able to rationalize, study events, situations, ideas, find out, how does this benefit me? What's the eventual outcome on the long run and the short run? My dear God people, I am just thankful that by the grace of God, the mind, the heart is given to us. I'm able to use mine. And if you can use yours, you should be thankful too, because this is the rare thing in the world today. We see millions, excuse me, just chasing and running after celebrities, famous people. They are the ones they go to copy notes from to check if their life is in order, whereas you could think for yourself. Slavery may not be there, apparently, but slavery is very much alive amongst us, the human race, because people have willingly sold themselves and given themselves to be led by other people without thinking at all for themselves. I am thankful to God for helping me to be able to think, for my sound mind, for the good health that He's given me. My heart goes out for all those people who are going through one form of mental illness or the other, because majority of those folks would be able to reason and rationalize for themselves if they had the right mind, if their health wasn't poor. This is not about those people. I'm addressing the folks as I'm grateful for myself. I'm addressing the lazy folks out there whose minds are just there to absorb, nothing to bounce, to consider whether, oh, is this right? Am I on the right track? Just because a celebrity said it, just because a popular figure said it, doesn't make it right, my dear. These people make mistakes too. Your individual mind was given for a reason, use it. I am grateful for my understanding, my ability to use my mind. Are you? Thank you.